In the vast archipelago of Hoenn, where emerald waters lap against volcanic shores and ancient mysteries slumber beneath towering peaks, there exists a realm where the most formidable creatures have made their homes across countless millennia. This tropical paradise, blessed with diverse climates ranging from scorching deserts to misty mountain ranges, has become the sanctuary for some of the most powerful beings ever documented in the natural world. As gentle ocean breezes carry the scent of salt and tropical blooms across these storied lands, we find ourselves drawn into the tranquil contemplation of these magnificent entities that have shaped the very essence of this region's identity. The legendary titans of Hoenn rest in states of peaceful dormancy, their immense powers held in perfect balance with the natural world around them. Deep beneath the ocean floor, in chambers carved from primordial stone and cooled by the endless depths, Kyogre lies in eternal slumber. This colossal being, measuring over 14 feet in length and weighing more than 700 pounds, embodies the very spirit of the world's waters. Its deep blue hide, marked with intricate red patterns that seem to pulse with the rhythm of ocean tides, tells the story of countless eons spent shaping coastlines and filling vast basins with life-giving seas. The gentle giant's rest is so profound that even the most sensitive instruments can barely detect its presence, yet its influence permeates every drop of moisture in the atmosphere above. In the molten depths, far below Hoenn's volcanic peaks, Groudon maintains its own sacred rest. This ancient guardian of the land masses stretches nearly 12 feet in height, its body a testament to the raw power of geological forces. The deep red plates that cover its form are not mere armor, but living extensions of the earth itself, capable of channeling temperatures that would make the hottest summer day feel like a cool morning breeze. Black markings trace intricate patterns across its hide, resembling the fissures and fault lines that speak to its dominion over continental drift and mountain formation. In its peaceful repose, Groudon's internal temperature remains perfectly regulated, neither too hot nor too cold, maintaining the delicate thermal balance that keeps the region's diverse ecosystems in harmony. High above in the stratosphere, where the air grows thin and the boundary between sky and space becomes beautifully blurred, Rayquaza glides in endless meditative loops. This serpentine marvel extends over 23 feet from its elegant head to the tip of its flowing tail, its emerald scales catching and refracting the gentle light of distant stars. Golden patterns spiral along its elongated form like celestial ribbons, while small fins and appendages help it navigate the ethereal currents of the upper atmosphere with grace that defies its impressive bulk of over 400 pounds. The dragon's movements are so fluid and unhurried that watching its passage induces a sense of cosmic tranquility, as if time itself moves more slowly in its presence. These three ancient guardians exist in a state of perfect equilibrium, their legendary conflict having long since resolved into a harmony that maintains the delicate balance of sea, land, and sky. Their very existence demonstrates that even the mightiest forces can find peace through understanding and mutual respect, a lesson that resonates through every aspect of Hoenn's natural order. In the shadowy depths of abandoned mines and forgotten caves, another formidable presence makes its home. Metagross, the Iron Leg Pokémon, represents the pinnacle of psychic and metallic fusion. Weighing over 1,200 pounds, and standing just over 5 feet tall, this remarkable being moves with surprising grace despite its massive bulk. Its steel blue body, formed through the union of 4 separate magnetic entities, gleams with a metallic luster that seems to absorb and reflect light in mesmerizing patterns. The massive legs, each ending in powerful claws, can generate magnetic fields strong enough to levitate boulders. Yet Metagross uses this incredible strength with remarkable restraint, often seen floating serenely through underground passages as it contemplates complex mathematical equations that would challenge the greatest minds. The psychic emanations from Metagross create a peculiar sense of calm in its vicinity, as if its powerful mind naturally filters out chaos and discord from its immediate environment. Its red eyes, glowing softly like distant stars, seem to perceive reality on multiple dimensional planes simultaneously, yet there is nothing threatening in this gaze. Instead, those fortunate enough to observe this magnificent creature report feeling a profound sense of order and stability, as if being in the presence of a living computer that has achieved perfect inner peace. Salamence soars through Hoenn's thermal currents with the effortless grace of a creature born to rule the skies. This dragon-type marvel, measuring just over 5 feet in length, but possessing a wingspan that extends far beyond its body length, embodies the dreams of flight made manifest. Its deep blue hide transitions to brilliant red along its wings and underbelly, creating a striking silhouette against both day and night skies. The powerful muscles that drive those magnificent wings can generate enough force to create small whirlwinds, yet Salamence often chooses to ride existing air currents, conserving energy while experiencing the pure joy of flight that it waited so long to achieve. The dragon's evolution from its earlier forms represents one of nature's most profound transformations, a metamorphosis driven by an unwavering desire to soar freely through unlimited skies. This passionate pursuit of its dreams has imbued Salamence with a deep appreciation for the journey itself, and in flight, it often appears to be in a state of meditative bliss, completely absorbed in the sensation of moving through 3-dimensional space with perfect freedom. Its contented rumbles, barely audible above the whisper of wind across its wings, create a soothing drone that has been known to calm other flying creatures sharing the same airspace. In the pristine lakes and rivers that wind through Hoenn's diverse landscapes, Milotic glides with ethereal beauty that seems almost too perfect for the physical world. This tender Pokémon extends over 20 feet in length, its serpentine form undulating through crystal clear waters, with movements so fluid they appear choreographed by the currents themselves. The cream-colored scales that cover most of its body transition to soft pink and blue hues along its elegant tail, while the flowing fins that crown its head move like silk ribbons in an underwater breeze. Milotic possesses the remarkable ability to calm aggressive emotions simply through its presence, a power that extends far beyond its immediate vicinity. The gentle waves created by its passage through water seem to carry this pacifying influence to distant shores, where even the most agitated creatures find themselves gradually settling into peaceful states. Local fishermen have long reported that waters inhabited by Milotic provide the most restful fishing experiences, with many describing an almost hypnotic quality to the gentle lapping of waves against their boats when this magnificent being is near. The transformation that brings Milotic into existence represents one of nature's most beautiful redemptions, a process that requires not just physical change, but a deep inner awakening to one's own potential for beauty and grace. This profound metamorphosis imbues every melodic with an innate understanding of the power of patience and self acceptance, qualities that radiate outward to influence everything in its peaceful domain. Flygon drifts across Hoenn's desert regions like a living mirage, its green and red coloration blending seamlessly with the heat shimmers that dance above sun-warmed sands. Standing just over 6 feet tall with a wingspan that allows for effortless soaring, this ground and dragon-type creature has adapted perfectly to the harsh beauty environments. The rhomboid patterns on its wings serve not just as natural camouflage, but also as sophisticated heat regulators, allowing Flygon to maintain comfortable body temperature even during the most intense desert days. The melodious humming sound produced by Flygon's wing beats has earned it recognition as the spirit of the desert, a haunting yet beautiful song that carries across vast distances on dry winds. This natural music has a deeply soothing quality, often described by desert travelers as the perfect accompaniment to long journeys across seemingly endless dunes. The creature's red-rimmed eyes, protected by natural membranes against blowing sand, hold an ancient wisdom that speaks to countless generations spent navigating the subtle rhythms of desert life. The gentle vibrations created by Flygon's wing movements extend deep into the desert floor, communicating with other creatures through a complex network of sand-transmitted signals that have evolved over millennia. These subsurface messages carry information about weather patterns, safe resting places, and the location of hidden oases, creating an invisible web of connection that binds desert communities together in harmonious cooperation. The creature's ability to create sandstorms serves not as an act of aggression, but as a natural sculpting force, reshaping the landscape with artistic precision that reveals new paths and conceals others according to the desert's ever-changing needs. When Flygon settles to rest during the cooler evening hours, its body temperature gradually synchronizes with the cooling sand, creating small thermal pockets that provide warmth for smaller creatures throughout the night. This generous sharing of body heat has made Flygon a beloved guardian figure in desert folklore, with many stories telling of lost travelers guided to safety by the distant glow of its resting form. Salamence embodies the raw power of draconic heritage, tempered by years of patient growth and unwavering determination. This magnificent dragon and flying type stands nearly 5 feet tall with wings that span over 12 feet, each membrane stretched taut between powerful bone structures that have been strengthened through countless hours of flight training. The deep blue coloration of its hide serves as both protection and intimidation, while the bright red wings create a striking contrast that speaks to the fierce pride burning within its dragon heart. Yet beneath this imposing exterior lies a creature of remarkable emotional depth, one whose journey to its current form required overcoming intense frustration and learning the value of perseverance. The transformation that creates Salamence represents one of the most dramatic evolutionary changes in the natural world, a process that requires not just physical development, but a complete mastery of one's own inner fire. This hard-won wisdom manifests in Salamence's flight patterns, which display a grace and precision that seems almost impossible given its substantial size and power. The territorial nature of Salamence stems not from simple aggression, but from a deep protective instinct that extends to all creatures within its chosen domain. These dragons establish vast aerial territories that they patrol with methodical precision, their keen eyes scanning for any signs of distress or danger among the Pokémon below. The sonic booms created by their high-speed flight serve as both warning and reassurance, announcing their presence to potential threats while simultaneously comforting those under their protection. During the quiet hours before dawn, Salamence can often be observed performing slow, meditative flight patterns that seem to serve no purpose beyond pure enjoyment of movement through the cool morning air. These peaceful moments reveal a contemplative side to the species that contrasts beautifully with their reputation for fierce determination, showing that even the most powerful dragons understand the value of quiet reflection. Metagross represents the pinnacle of psychic and steel type evolution, a living supercomputer whose four powerful legs support a body that houses one of the most sophisticated minds in the Pokemon world. Standing over 5 feet tall and weighing nearly half a ton, this remarkable creature moves with surprising grace despite its metallic construction, each step calculated with mechanical precision, yet flowing with organic purpose. The silver-blue steel that comprises its body has been forged through processes that remain mysterious to researchers, creating a material that combines incredible durability with surprising sensitivity to psychic energies. The red eyes that peer from its cross-shaped face burn with an intelligence that processes information at speeds that border on the supernatural, analyzing thousands of variables simultaneously while maintaining perfect awareness of its surroundings. This incredible processing power allows Metagross to perceive patterns and connections that remain invisible to other minds, making it an invaluable ally in situations requiring complex problem solving or strategic thinking. The four individual brains that merge to create each Metagross continue to function as separate entities while contributing to a unified consciousness that transcends the sum of its parts. This unique neural architecture allows for parallel processing of multiple thought streams, enabling the creature to engage in several different mental activities simultaneously without any loss of focus or efficiency. During periods of rest, these four minds often engage in internal dialogues that explore abstract concepts and theoretical possibilities, creating a rich inner life that few outside observers could fully comprehend. The magnetic fields generated by Metagross serve multiple purposes beyond simple locomotion, creating protective barriers that can deflect harmful energies while simultaneously gathering information about the electromagnetic signatures of nearby objects and creatures. This constant environmental scanning provides a detailed three-dimensional map of the surrounding area that updates in real time, allowing Metagross to navigate complex terrain with perfect confidence, even in complete darkness. Latios and Latias glide through Hoenn's skies as living embodiments of the eternal bond between siblings, their psychic and dragon-type natures, allowing them to share thoughts and emotions across vast distances with perfect clarity. These legendary Pokémon possess the remarkable ability to become invisible by bending light around their bodies, a gift that they use not for deception, but for peaceful observation of the world below. Latios, with his blue and white coloration, tends toward more analytical thinking, his mind constantly processing aerial currents and weather patterns to optimize flight paths for maximum efficiency and enjoyment. His sister Latias, adorned in red and white, approaches the world with greater emotional intuition, sensing the feelings of other creatures and responding with gentle psychic touches that provide comfort and reassurance. Together, they form a perfect partnership that demonstrates the power of complementary perspectives working in harmony toward common goals. The telepathic abilities of these legendary siblings extend far beyond simple communication, allowing them to share memories, dreams, and even temporary access to each other's unique perspectives on the world. This deep mental connection has created a bond so strong that they can coordinate complex aerial maneuvers without any visible communication, their movements flowing together like two parts of a single choreographed dance. During their rare periods of rest, Latios and Latias often engage in shared meditation sessions where their combined psychic energies create fields of pure tranquility that can be sensed by sensitive individuals from miles away. These moments of perfect harmony serve to recharge not just their own spiritual batteries, but also to send waves of peaceful energy rippling outward through the psychic plane, touching the dreams of sleeping creatures throughout the region. The protective instincts of Latios and Latias manifest not through aggressive confrontation, but through subtle manipulation of environmental factors that guide potential threats away from areas requiring protection. They can alter wind patterns to redirect storm systems, influence the behavior of wild Pokémon through gentle psychic suggestions, and even project calming illusions that help frightened creatures find their way to safety. Their legendary status comes not from displays of raw power, but from countless small acts of kindness performed without expectation of recognition or reward, embodying the highest ideals of what it means to be truly powerful yet completely benevolent. The ancient mysteries of Hoenn reveal themselves through the presence of Rayquaza, the great sky dragon whose emerald scales catch starlight as it moves through the upper atmosphere with movements so fluid they seem to bend the very fabric of space itself. This legendary Pokémon exists in a realm between Earth and cosmos, dwelling in the ozone layer where few other creatures dare to venture, its body perfectly adapted to survive in conditions that would be lethal to most forms of life. The serpentine grace of Rayquaza speaks to millions of years of evolution toward absolute mastery of aerial existence, each movement calculated to harness atmospheric currents with mathematical precision while expending minimal energy. Its role as mediator between the legendary forces of land and sea demonstrates a wisdom that transcends simple power, showing instead a deep understanding of natural balance that allows it to intervene only when the fundamental harmony of the world faces genuine threat. The green flames that dance along Rayquaza's body are not mere displays of energy, but rather visible manifestations of its connection to the life force that flows through all living things, a reminder that true strength comes from unity with nature rather than dominion over it. Deep beneath Hoenn's surface, in caverns where geological pressure has compressed minerals into formations of impossible beauty, Registeel stands as a testament to the enduring power of metallic perfection. This legendary Titan's body represents the pinnacle of metallurgical achievement, composed of materials that exist nowhere else in the natural world and demonstrate properties that challenge conventional understanding of physics and chemistry. The hollow sound that echoes from within Registeel's form speaks to internal chambers designed with acoustic properties that allow it to communicate across vast distances through subsonic vibrations that travel through solid rock faster than sound moves through air. These deep tones carry meanings that transcend language, conveying concepts of stability, endurance, and the slow but inexorable processes that shape continents over geological timescales. The magnetic fields generated by Registeel's unique composition create subtle influences on the behavior of metal objects throughout Hoenn, causing compasses to point toward locations of particular significance and occasionally aligning iron deposits in patterns that form natural works of art, visible only from great heights. Its presence brings a sense of permanence to a world constantly shaped by change, serving as an anchor point that reminds all creatures of the value found in steadfast dedication to principles that outlast the shifting concerns of any single generation. In the frozen depths of Island Cave, Regice embodies the crystalline perfection of absolute zero, its body formed from ice so pure and dense that it has achieved properties normally reserved for precious metals and rare gemstones. The internal temperature of this legendary Pokémon remains constant, regardless of external conditions, creating localized climate effects that can preserve delicate ecosystems in states of perfect suspended animation for centuries at a time. The light that refracts through Regice's transparent sections creates rainbow patterns that shift and dance according to complex mathematical principles, each movement generating subtle changes in the electromagnetic spectrum that influence weather patterns across vast distances. These prismatic displays serve purposes beyond mere beauty, acting as a form of communication that can be read by creatures sensitive to changes in light frequency and polarization. The slow, deliberate movements of Regice reflect the patient nature of ice itself, which shapes landscapes not through sudden violence, but through the gradual application of pressure over time scales that dwarf human comprehension. Its presence brings clarity to confusion and stillness to chaos, demonstrating that sometimes the greatest strength lies in the ability to remain unchanged while the world transforms around you. The ancient chambers where Regirock makes its dwelling echo with the deep rumbles of tectonic activity, for this legendary titan maintains a constant connection to the geological forces that continue to shape Hoenn's landscape with each passing day. Its body, composed of rocks gathered from every corner of the region, tells the story of millions of years of geological history through the varied colors, textures, and mineral compositions that make up its substantial form. The ability of Regirock to rebuild itself using available materials demonstrates a form of adaptability that transcends the limitations faced by most creatures, allowing it to incorporate new experiences and environments directly into its physical structure. Each stone that becomes part of Regirock carries with it the memory of where it was formed, creating a living library of geological knowledge that spans eras when continents were arranged in completely different configurations. The seismic vibrations generated by its movements travel through bedrock to communicate with other Earth-type Pokémon across vast distances, creating a network of geological communication that operates on frequencies too low for most creatures to perceive. The subsonic messages carry information about mineral deposits, underground water sources, and the structural stability of various locations throughout the region. The legendary Pokemon known as Jirachi appears only during the brief periods when certain celestial alignments create conditions suitable for its awakening, emerging from its millennia long slumbers with the power to transform wishes into reality through careful manipulation of probability and circumstance. The star shaped markings adorning its body serve as conduits for cosmic energy, allowing Jirachi to draw power directly from stellar radiation and channel it into effects that seem to violate natural law while actually working within frameworks of possibility that exist beyond current scientific understanding. The process by which Jirachi grants wishes involves complex calculations that take into account the interconnected nature of all existence, ensuring that each fulfillment of desire creates ripple effects that ultimately strengthen rather than destabilize the fabric of reality. Its brief periods of consciousness are spent not in granting random desires, but in carefully selecting which wishes align with the greater good of all living things, demonstrating wisdom that comes from experiencing the long view of cosmic time. The gentle nature of this legendary Pokemon reflects its understanding that true fulfillment comes not from having desires immediately satisfied, but from the journey of growth and discovery that leads to genuine happiness. In the depths of the seafloor trench, where pressure reaches levels that would crush most materials into component atoms, Kyogre rests in chambers filled with water so pure it has achieved properties that border on the supernatural. This legendary whale-like Pokemon embodies the creative and destructive power of the ocean itself, its presence capable of expanding existing bodies of water or calling new seas into existence through manipulation of weather patterns and underground aquifers. The blue markings that glow along Kyogre's massive form serve as indicators of its emotional state and energy levels, pulsing with rhythms that match the tidal cycles and creating bioluminescent displays that can be seen from the surface even at tremendous depths. Its ability to control precipitation allows Kyogre to end droughts, fill reservoirs, and restore life to areas that have suffered from extended periods of dryness. But this same power requires careful restraint to avoid creating floods that would devastate existing ecosystems. The songs that Kyogre sings in the deepest parts of the ocean carry across entire oceanic basins, their low-frequency vibrations providing navigation aids for migrating marine life and creating resonance patterns that help maintain the structural integrity of underwater mountain ranges. These haunting melodies speak of ancient times when the boundaries between land and sea were fluid concepts and the world existed in a state of constant creative transformation. The volcanic heart of Hoenn beats with the rhythm of Groudon's slumber, for this legendary Pokémon maintains a connection to the molten core that drives continental drift and shapes the surface world through the gradual but inexorable movement of tectonic plates. The red markings that cover Groudon's armored hide glow with internal heat that reflects the temperature of magma chambers thousands of feet below ground, creating a visual display that serves as an early warning system for volcanic activity throughout the region. Its massive claws are capable of reshaping coastlines and creating new mountain ranges. But such dramatic displays of power are reserved for moments when the fundamental balance between land and sea faces serious disruption. The ability of Groudon to create new landmasses stems not from destructive force, but from its deep understanding of how geological processes can be guided to produce stable, life supporting environments that will endure for geological ages. The heat radiating from its body creates microclimates that allow certain plant species to thrive in otherwise inhospitable locations, demonstrating how even the most powerful forces of nature can nurture life when properly channeled. Its footsteps leave behind traces of beneficial minerals that enrich soil composition for decades, creating oases of fertility that support diverse ecosystems long after its passage. The profound stillness that follows Groudon's passage through an area creates spaces where silence itself becomes a living thing, where the absence of volcanic rumbling allows subtler sounds to emerge from the earth's depths. These quiet moments reveal the gentle whispers of underground streams finding new channels through freshly formed rock layers, the soft settling sounds of cooling lava that will one day support forests of unprecedented diversity. The warmth that lingers in Groudon's wake operates on timescales that dwarf human comprehension, slowly radiating outward through bedrock and soil to create thermal gradients that influence weather patterns across entire continents. This residual heat serves as a foundation for geothermal springs that will bubble to the surface generations later, carrying with them dissolved minerals that transform ordinary water into healing pools capable of rejuvenating both Pokémon and plant life. The legendary ground type's connection to the planet's core allows it to sense disturbances in the Earth's magnetic field, making it an unwitting guardian against cosmic forces that might otherwise disrupt the delicate electromagnetic patterns that guide migrating Pokémon across vast distances. Deep beneath the Hoenn region's surface, networks of crystal formations respond to Groudon's presence by growing in specific patterns that amplify and focus geothermal energy, creating natural power sources that sustain underground ecosystems completely independent of sunlight. Thus, subterranean communities of rock-type and ground-type Pokémon have evolved in harmony with Groudon's influence, developing abilities that allow them to thrive in high-temperature environments while contributing to the maintenance of geological stability. The slow, rhythmic pulsing of Groudon's heart creates seismic waves so gentle they cannot be detected by conventional instruments, yet these vibrations carry information about tectonic stress and potential earthquake activity to sensitive Pokémon throughout the region. This early warning system has prevented countless natural disasters by allowing ground-dwelling Pokémon to reinforce unstable areas before dangerous pressure can accumulate. The interplay between Groudon's land-shaping power and Kyogre's oceanic influence creates boundary zones where unique geological phenomena occur, places where underwater volcanoes gradually build islands that will eventually break the surface to create new habitats. These emerging landmasses begin their existence as barren rock, but the mineral composition left by Groudon's influence ensures they will quickly develop soil capable of supporting the seeds carried by ocean currents and migrating flying-type Pokémon. The process of island formation becomes a collaborative act of creation, with each legendary contributing essential elements that will determine the character and ecological potential of new land. The thermal vents that dot these emerging islands create microclimates where tropical plants can establish themselves even in temperate waters, gradually transforming stark volcanic rock into lush paradises that serve as stepping stones for species migration across oceanic distances. Within the deepest ocean trenches, where crushing pressure would destroy most forms of life, specialized communities of water-type Pokémon have adapted to harness the energy released by underwater volcanic activity influenced by Groudon's distant presence. These deep-sea dwellers have developed bioluminescent patterns that mirror the glow of Kyogre's markings, creating communication networks that span entire ocean basins through coordinated light displays visible only to creatures adapted to the perpetual darkness of abyssal depths. The songs they sing in response to Kyogre's calls carry information about current patterns, food sources, and potential dangers, creating an oceanic internet of biological communication that operates continuously beneath the waves. The legendary weather trio's influence extends beyond their individual domains to encompass atmospheric phenomena that regulate global climate patterns through mechanisms so complex they appear almost mystical in their precision. Rayquaza's domain in the upper atmosphere serves as a mediating force that prevents the conflicts between land and sea from escalating into world-changing catastrophes. But this mediation occurs through subtle adjustments to air pressure and wind patterns rather than dramatic displays of power. The dragon-type legendary's serpentine form allows it to navigate atmospheric layers with minimal disturbance, creating pressure waves that guide storm systems away from populated areas while ensuring that beneficial rainfall reaches regions experiencing drought. Its presence in the stratosphere influences the formation of high-altitude ice crystals that seed cloud formation, controlling precipitation patterns across vast geographic areas through microscopic adjustments to atmospheric chemistry. The ancient sites scattered throughout Hoenn, where these legendary Pokémon once walked, retain traces of their power in the form of unusual mineral deposits that continue to influence local ecosystems thousands of years after their passage. These locations often become pilgrimage destinations for wild Pokémon seeking to enhance their natural abilities through exposure to lingering legendary energy, creating gathering places where different species interact peacefully despite normally territorial behaviors. The stones and crystals found in these sacred locations possess unique properties that allow them to store and slowly release elemental energy, creating natural batteries that power everything from bioluminescent fungi to the magnetic navigation systems used by migrating Pokémon. These energy sources operate on cycles that correspond to seasonal changes, intensifying during times when wild Pokémon require additional strength for breeding, migration, or survival challenges. The symbiotic relationship between legendary Pokémon and their environment extends to influence the evolution of ordinary species in ways that become apparent only over geological timescales, as successive generations of Pokémon adapt to the subtle environmental changes created by legendary presence. Hoenn's diverse ecosystem reflects this evolutionary pressure, producing species with unusual type combinations and abilities that reflect their adaptation to environments shaped by legendary influence. The region's numerous caves and underground passages show evidence of having been carved by ancient movements of legendary Pokémon, creating networks of tunnels that serve as highways for ground type species while providing shelter and nesting sites for countless other Pokémon. These underground spaces maintain stable temperatures year round due to residual heat from Groudon's passage, creating environments where ice type Pokémon from other regions can survive even in Hoenn's tropical climate. The tidal pools along Hoenn's coastline demonstrate the delicate balance maintained between Kyogre's oceanic influence and Groudon's land-shaping power, creating ecosystems where marine and terrestrial species coexist in harmony. These shallow pools that serve as nurseries for young water-type Pokémon, while providing hunting grounds for flying types that have learned to dive for prey. The mineral content of these pools reflects the ongoing interaction between seawater and volcanic rock, creating chemical conditions that support unique species found nowhere else in the world. During certain tidal cycles, these pools connect to form temporary waterways that allow normally isolated populations of aquatic Pokémon to interbreed, maintaining genetic diversity while preventing any single species from becoming too dominant in local ecosystems. The interconnected nature of these tidal systems creates a living laboratory where evolutionary pressures shift constantly with the rhythm of the tides, encouraging rapid adaptation among the Pokémon species that call these environments home. Mudkip and its evolutionary line have developed specialized gills that function efficiently in both the brackish waters of tidal pools and the deeper oceanic environments beyond the shoreline, allowing them to serve as ambassadors between these distinct aquatic realms. Their ability to sense minute changes in water pressure makes them invaluable early warning systems for other Pokémon when storms approach from the ocean, their calls echoing through the coastal caves to alert both marine and terrestrial species of impending weather changes. The caves themselves resonate with these warning calls, their natural acoustics amplified by the specific mineral composition of their walls, which contain trace amounts of sound-conducting crystals formed through millennia of legendary influence. These crystal formations within Hoenn's cave systems serve multiple purposes beyond their acoustic properties, acting as natural prisms that split sunlight, filtering down from surface openings into spectrums that support photosynthetic processes in underground plant life. Grass-type Pokémon that venture into these subterranean spaces can continue their energy production even far from direct sunlight, sustaining themselves on the refracted light while providing oxygen for the cave-dwelling communities that have formed around these natural light wells. The interplay between light and crystal creates dancing patterns on cave walls that have mesmerized generations of psychic-type Pokémon who use these natural light shows as focal points for meditation and the development of their mental abilities. Abra populations frequently gather in these illuminated chambers, their collective psychic energy creating fields that enhance the natural properties of the crystals, which in turn amplify their telepathic communications across vast distances. The psychic networks established by these cave-dwelling Abra extend throughout Hoenn's underground systems, creating an information highway that allows Pokémon across the region to share knowledge about food sources, threats, and environmental changes. This underground communication system operates independently of surface weather conditions, providing reliable information flow even during the most severe storms that might disrupt other forms of natural communication. The messages transmitted through these psychic networks travel at the speed of thought, allowing Pokemon separated by hundreds of miles to coordinate their activities with precision that would be impossible through conventional means. Wild Alakazam serve as nodes in this network, their powerful minds capable of processing and routing multiple simultaneous communications while filtering out irrelevant information to prevent system overload. The sophistication of this psychic communication network rivals anything found in human technology, with built in redundancies that ensure message delivery even if individual Alakazam become unavailable due to sleep, injury, or migration. Younger psychic type Pokemon learn to access this network gradually, starting with simple emotional broadcasts before developing the mental discipline required for complex information transfer. The training process occurs naturally through play and social interaction, with adult psychic types unconsciously transmitting basic network protocols to their young through routine telepathic contact. This ensures that each new generation maintains and expands the network's capabilities while preserving the accumulated knowledge of their predecessors. The information stored within this psychic network includes detailed maps of underground water sources, which prove essential during Hoenn's dry seasons when surface water becomes scarce. Ground type Pokemon rely heavily on this shared knowledge to locate deep aquifers and underground streams that remain flowing even when surface rivers run low. Sandslash populations have developed specialized digging techniques based on information received through psychic channels, allowing them to access water sources with minimal energy expenditure while avoiding areas where digging might destabilize cave systems or interfere with the habitats of other species. Their excavation work often creates new pathways that benefit the entire underground ecosystem, improving air circulation and creating access routes for less capable diggers. These newly created tunnels gradually become incorporated into the larger network of passages that honeycomb Hoenn's underground, each addition carefully integrated to maintain the structural integrity of the existing system. Rock-type Pokemon serve as natural engineers in this process. Their instinctive understanding of geological stress patterns, preventing the creation of unstable excavations that might collapse under pressure. Graveler and Golem use their ability to sense minute vibrations in rock to monitor the health of tunnel systems, detecting potential weaknesses before they become dangerous and alerting other Pokemon to avoid problematic areas. Their work ensures that the underground highway system remains safe for the constant traffic of Pokemon that depend on these passages for shelter, migration, and access to resources. The constant movement of Pokemon through these tunnel systems creates air currents that help regulate temperature and humidity throughout the underground environment, preventing the stagnation that might otherwise occur in closed systems. Flying type Pokemon that venture underground contribute to this air circulation through their wing beats, while the body heat generated by warm-blooded species helps maintain comfortable temperatures for cold-sensitive Pokemon during cooler periods. The thermal regulation achieved through this natural ventilation system allows Hoenn's underground spaces to support a more diverse range of species than would otherwise be possible, creating refuges where Pokémon from different climatic zones can coexist comfortably. During extreme weather events on the surface, these underground refuges become critical survival resources for Pokémon that lack natural resistance to harsh conditions. The stable environment provides protection from lightning, flooding, extreme temperatures, and powerful winds, while maintaining access to food and water sources that remain unaffected by surface disturbances. Grass type Pokemon that normally spend their entire lives in sunlight can survive extended periods underground by entering states of reduced metabolism, similar to hibernation, conserving energy while waiting for surface conditions to improve. Their presence during these shelter periods benefits other species through the oxygen they continue to produce, even at reduced rates, helping maintain breathable air quality in crowded refuge areas. The social dynamics that emerge during these shared shelter periods often lead to unusual partnerships between species that rarely interact under normal circumstances. Predator and prey species develop temporary truces based on mutual dependence, while Pokemon with complementary abilities form cooperative relationships that may persist long after the emergency passes. These crisis forged bonds contribute to the overall stability of Hoenn's ecosystem by creating networks of mutual aid that activate automatically when environmental stresses threaten individual species or communities. The memory of successful cooperation during difficult times becomes encoded in the behavioral patterns of participating Pokemon, passed down to subsequent generations through observation and imitation rather than genetic inheritance. The interconnectedness of Hoenn's ecosystems extends beyond merely physical spaces, weaving a tapestry of relationships that span species, environments, and time. Consider the role of water in shaping these connections, for instance. Hoenn's rivers, lakes, and oceans are not just bodies of water, but lifelines that sustain entire communities of Pokemon. Water types like Tentacool and Wingull glide effortlessly across the surface, their movements creating ripples that carry nutrients and oxygen to deeper aquatic layers. Beneath them, Whiscash patrol the muddy riverbeds, their sensitive barbels detecting the faintest traces of prey or approaching storms. These Pokemon, though often unnoticed, act as guardians of their habitats, ensuring the delicate balance of aquatic ecosystems remains intact. The rivers themselves serve as highways, carrying not just water, but also seeds, spores, and even eggs of certain Pokemon species downstream, spreading life across the region. This natural dispersal system allows for the regeneration of plant life along riverbanks and the migration of aquatic Pokemon to new territories, ensuring genetic diversity and resilience in the face of environmental changes. The coastline of Hoenn reveals another layer of this intricate web, where land and sea meet in a dynamic interplay of forces. Here, Pokemon like Corsola and Luvdisc thrive in coral reefs, their vibrant colors and delicate forms masking their crucial role in maintaining these underwater cities. Corsola's colonies provide shelter and breeding grounds for countless marine species, while Luvdisc's presence helps maintain the health of the reefs by dispersing nutrients and cleaning harmful algae. Above the waves, Pelipper glide on the ocean breeze, their beaks carrying seeds and small insects across vast distances, acting as aerial couriers that link coastal ecosystems to inland forests. The tides themselves play a part, bringing nutrients from the ocean floor to the shore, where Pokémon like Mudkip and Lotad forage in the nutrient-rich mud, transforming these resources into energy that supports their growth and reproduction. This constant exchange between land and sea ensures that Hoenn's coastal regions remain some of the most fertile and diverse areas in the entire Pokémon world. Inland, the dense forests of Hoenn harbor their own unique ecosystems, where light and shadow dance in an eternal rhythm. Here, Pokémon like Shiftry and Breloom thrive, their abilities finely tuned to the rhythms of the forest. Shiftry's leaves rustle in the wind, creating a natural symphony that soothes the nerves of nearby Pokémon while also dispersing seeds and spores carried on the breeze. Breloom's mushroom-like tail releases spores that enrich the soil, promoting the growth of plants that feed herbivorous Pokémon like Deerling and Skiddo. The forest floor, often overlooked, is a bustling hub of activity where Pokémon like Shroomish and Fungus decompose fallen leaves and branches, recycling nutrients back into the soil and ensuring the forest's continued vitality. Above, the canopy shelters countless species, from the elusive Ninjask to the industrious Beedrill, each playing their part in maintaining the delicate balance of this arboreal world. The mountains of Hoenn, rising majestically above the forests and plains, are home to some of the region's most resilient Pokémon. Here, Swellows soar through the thin air, their keen eyes scanning the rugged terrain for prey or potential threats. Below them, Agron carve paths through the rocky landscape, their metallic bodies reflecting the harsh sunlight as they move with deliberate purpose. These mountains are not just obstacles, but sanctuaries, providing refuge for Pokémon like Altaria, whose cloud-like wings allow them to navigate the treacherous updrafts and downdrafts with ease. The caves that dot these mountains are equally important, offering shelter and resources to species like Zubat and Lunatone, who thrive in the cool, dark recesses. The interplay between the mountain's exposed surfaces and its hidden depths creates a mosaic of microhabitats, each supporting a distinct community of Pokémon adapted to its unique conditions. The deserts of Hoenn, often perceived as barren wastelands, are in fact teeming with life, albeit life that has adapted to extreme conditions. Pokémon like Cacnea and Sandshrew flourish here, their bodies designed to conserve water and withstand the relentless sun. Cacnea's spines, though formidable, also serve to collect moisture from the rare desert rains, funneling it down to their roots and sustaining them through long dry spells. Sandshrew's sleek, burrowing form allows it to navigate the shifting sands with ease, creating tunnels that provide shelter from the heat and predators. Above ground, Trapinch lie in wait, their jaws ready to snap shut on unsuspecting prey, while above them, Skarmory glide on the thermals, their metallic feathers reflecting the desert sun like mirrors. These Pokémon, though often solitary, form a delicate web of interactions that ensures the desert's survival, each playing a part in the cycle of life that persists even in the harshest conditions. The volcanic regions of Hoenn, with their molten rivers and smoldering craters, are perhaps the most dramatic of the region's ecosystems. Here, Pokémon like Magcargo and Torkoal thrive in the intense heat, their bodies adapted to withstand temperatures that would be lethal to most other species. Magcargo's molten shell glows with an inner fire, providing warmth to nearby Pokémon during the cooler nights, while Torkoal's steam vents release pressure from the volcanic depths, preventing potentially catastrophic eruptions. These Pokemon are not just survivors, but stewards, their presence helping to regulate the volatile energies of the volcanic landscape. Above them, Camerupt roam the slopes, their humps storing reserves of magma that they can release in times of need, creating temporary lava flows that reshape the terrain and create new habitats. The volcanic soil, rich in minerals, supports hardy plants that feed herbivorous Pokemon like Numel, completing the cycle of life in this fiery realm. Hoenn's cities and towns, though shaped by human hands, are also integral to the region's ecosystem. Pokemon like Plusle and Minun thrive in urban environments, their electric abilities powering small devices and creating microclimates that support other species. The parks and gardens within these cities serve as oases for Pokemon like Budew and Roselia, whose pollen and nectar attract bug types like Combee and Beautifully. Even the sewers, often overlooked, are home to Pokemon like Grimer and Trubbish, who play a crucial role in breaking down waste and preventing pollution from spreading further into the environment. These urban Pokemon, though often living in close proximity to humans, maintain their own complex social structures and ecological roles, ensuring that even in the most developed areas, nature finds a way to thrive. The skies above Hoenn, vast and seemingly endless, are the domain of some of the region's most majestic Pokemon. Swellow and Pelipper crisscross the heavens, their flights linking distant ecosystems and ensuring the spread of seeds, spores, and nutrients. Above them, Altaria glide on thermal currents, their melodies soothing the hearts of Pokemon below and creating a sense of harmony that permeates the region. In the highest reaches, Rayquaza watches over the land, its presence a reminder of the delicate balance that sustains life in Hoenn. The interplay between the sky and the land creates a dynamic system of energy exchange, where sunlight fuels photosynthesis, winds disperse seeds and spores, and rainfall replenishes the rivers and lakes that sustain countless species. This constant flow of energy and resources ensures that Hoenn's ecosystems remain vibrant and resilient, capable of adapting to the challenges that arise in an ever-changing world. The ocean currents that encircle Hoenn are like invisible rivers, carrying nutrients and warmth to every corner of the region. These currents shape the lives of countless water-type Pokemon, from the tiniest Clamperl hiding in coral crevices to the massive Wailord that glide through the deep. The tides themselves are governed by the gravitational pull of the moon, and it's no surprise that Pokemon like Lunatone, with their celestial connection, are often found near coastal caves where the ebb and flow of water is most pronounced. The rhythmic crashing of waves against the shore is a constant lullaby for Pokemon like Wingull, who nest on cliffsides, their cries blending seamlessly with the sound of the sea. Even the sand beneath the waves is alive, home to Pokemon like Sandygast, whose bodies are formed from the very grains that shift with each tide. Beneath the surface, coral reefs stretch like underwater cities, their intricate structures providing shelter for Pokemon like Corsola and Lovedisk. The reefs are a symphony of color and motion, with schools of Finneon darting between the branches of coral, their bioluminescent patterns flickering like distant stars. Deeper still, where sunlight struggles to penetrate, Relicanth drift lazily through the darkness, their ancient forms unchanged for millennia. These depths are also the domain of Huntail and Goribus, whose serpentine bodies twist through underwater caverns, their presence a reminder of the mysteries that still lie hidden in Hoenn's waters. The ocean floor itself is dotted with hydrothermal vents, where superheated water, rich in minerals, supports colonies of Pokémon like Chinchou, their glowing lures cutting through the perpetual night of the abyss. The rivers and lakes of Hoenn are no less vibrant, their waters teeming with life. Along the banks of the trickling stream, where the water is shallow and clear, Pokémon like Lotad and Surskit skim the surface, their delicate movements creating ripples that catch the sunlight. Beneath them, Barboach and Whiscash stir up the sediment, their whiskers sensitive to the slightest vibrations in the water. In the calmer stretches, Phoebus drift lazily, their dull scales belying the potential for breathtaking beauty they hold within. The rivers eventually feed into larger bodies of water, like the vast expanse of Lake Verity, where the reflections of the sky create an illusion of infinite depth. Here, rare Pokémon like Milotic are said to appear, their serpentine forms weaving through the water with an elegance that seems almost otherworldly. The forests of Hoenn, dense and ancient, are places where time moves differently. The towering trees of Petalburg Woods form a canopy so thick that sunlight filters through in scattered beams, creating a dappled world of shifting shadows. Here, Pokémon like Shroomish and Paras live among the roots and fallen leaves, their spores drifting lazily through the humid air. Higher up, Sado cling to branches, their hard shells protecting them until they are ready to evolve into Nuzleaf and eventually Shiftry, whose mastery of the wind allows them to stir the forest with a whisper. The air is filled with the calls of Talo and Pidgey, their songs echoing through the trees as they flit from branch to branch. At night, the forest takes on a different character, with the glowing eyes of Poochyena and Mightyena reflecting the moonlight as they move silently through the underbrush. In the heart of these woodlands, clearings sometimes appear where the ground is soft with moss and the air is thick with the scent of flowers. These are the domains of Pokémon like Bellossom and Vileplume, whose petals release soothing pheromones that calm even the most restless creatures. The stillness of these glades is broken only by the occasional rustle of a Tropius feeding on the fruit that grows from its own neck, or the gentle hum of a Volbeat and a Loomis performing their intricate light displays as dusk falls. The forests are not just a collection of trees, but a living, breathing entity where every plant and Pokémon plays a role in maintaining the delicate balance of the ecosystem. Even the deserts of Hoenn, harsh and unforgiving at first glance, are home to Pokémon that have adapted to thrive in these extreme conditions. The shifting sands of the Mirage Desert are constantly reshaped by the wind, creating dunes that seem to move like waves. Here, Pokémon like Trapinch lie in wait just beneath the surface, their powerful jaws ready to snap shut on unsuspecting prey. Overhead, Vibrava hover on delicate wings, their buzzing flight creating vibrations that disorient their targets. Eventually, these Pokémon evolve into Flygon, whose large eyes allow them to see through the sandstorms they summon, navigating the desert with ease. The desert is also home to Cacnea and Maractus, whose ability to store water in their bodies allows them to survive where few others can. At night, when the temperature plummets, these Pokémon retreat into the sand, conserving their energy until the sun rises again. The mountains of Hoenn, with their snow-capped peaks and sheer cliffs are the domain of Pokémon that have mastered the art of survival in thin air and freezing temperatures. On the lower slopes, where the air is still thick with oxygen, Pokémon like Swablu flit between the trees, their fluffy feathers insulating them from the cold. Higher up, where the wind howls and the ground is covered in snow, Glalie drift like specters, their icy bodies blending seamlessly with the landscape. The very peaks are the territory of Regice, whose crystalline form is said to be as old as the mountains themselves. The glaciers that cling to these heights are slowly carving their way through the rock, shaping the land over millennia. Avalanches, though destructive, are a natural part of this process, clearing away old growth and making way for new life. The caves that riddle Hoenn's mountains and underground are worlds unto themselves, their darkness broken only by the faint glow of bioluminescent fungi or the shimmering crystals embedded in the walls. Zubat and Whismur cling to the ceilings, their echolocation allowing them to navigate the labyrinthine passages with ease. Deeper in, where the air is thick with the scent of minerals, Aaron and Lyron gnaw on the metal-rich rocks, their steel-coated bodies impervious to most predators. The rarest of these caves are home to Sableye, whose gemstone eyes glitter in the darkness as they scavenge for precious stones. The caves are also the resting places of ancient Pokémon like Relicanth, whose fossils are sometimes uncovered by intrepid explorers, offering glimpses into a world long past. The cycle of day and night in Hoenn brings its own rhythm, with different Pokémon emerging as the light shifts. At dawn, the songs of Kricketune fill the air, their melodies signaling the start of a new day. As the sun climbs higher, Butterfree and Beautifully take to the skies, their wings catching the light in a kaleidoscope of colors. By midday, the heat drives many Pokémon to seek shade, with Trico and Grovel lounging in the branches of tall trees, their tails twitching lazily. As evening approaches, the shadows lengthen, and Pokémon like Dustox and Venomoth emerge, their wings fluttering silently as they begin their nightly routines. The transition from day to night is a time of quiet activity, with nocturnal Pokémon like Mightyena and Absol stretching their limbs, ready to take over the watch. The seasons, too, leave their mark on Hoenn, though the changes are subtle compared to more temperate regions. In the spring, cherry blossoms blanket the streets of cities like verdant turf, their petals carried away by the breeze like pink snow. This is the time when Pokémon like Cherubi are most active, their small bodies bursting with the energy of new growth. Summer brings thunderstorms, with a crackle of lightning energizing electric types like Manectric, who race across the plains with sparks trailing behind them. Autumn sees the forests turn gold and red as the leaves of the trees prepare to fall, and Pokémon like Seedot and Shroomish gather the last of the season's bounty. Winter, though mild in most of Hoenn, still brings a chill to the air, and ice types like Snorunt can be found playing in the rare snow that dusts the highest peaks. The people of Hoenn, too, are part of this intricate web of life. Fishermen rise before dawn to cast their nets, their work supported by Pokémon like Tentacruel, who help guide schools of fish into waiting traps. Farmers tend to their fields with the aid of Pokémon like Miltank and Tropius, whose milk and fruit are staples of the local diet. Even the scientists studying the region's ecosystems rely on Pokémon like Magneton and Porygon to analyze data and uncover new insights. The bond between humans and Pokémon in Hoenn is one of mutual respect, with each side learning from the other and growing stronger together. As the night deepens and the stars begin to twinkle overhead, Hoenn settles into a peaceful quiet. The nocturnal Pokémon continue their work, the rustling of leaves and the distant call of a hoot hoot the only sounds breaking the silence. The tides still lap at the shore, the wind still whispers through the trees, and the volcanoes still hum with dormant energy. It's a reminder that even in rest, the world is alive, constantly moving, breathing, and changing. And as the moon casts its silver light over the land, even the most restless souls can find solace in the knowledge that Hoenn, with all its beauty and mystery, will be there when the sun rises again. So let the rhythm of the waves, the sigh of the wind, and the gentle hum of the night lull you into a deep and peaceful sleep, knowing that Hoenn's strongest Pokémon are watching over the land, just as they have for centuries, and just as they will for centuries to come. The stories of these creatures are endless, their lives intertwined with the very fabric of the region, creating a tapestry of life that is as vast as the ocean and as enduring as the mountains. And as you drift into dreams, perhaps you'll find yourself walking through these landscapes, side by side with the Pokémon that call Hoenn home, sharing in the quiet magic of this extraordinary place. The rivers of Hoenn flow like veins through the land, carrying life to every corner of the region. Along their banks, Pokémon like Lotad and Marill bask in the gentle currents, their forms bobbing lazily on the water's surface. The Lotad, with their broad lily-pad leaves, drift with the tide, absorbing sunlight by day and folding their leaves like umbrellas when the stars emerge. Marill, with their buoyant tails, play in the shallows, their cheerful squeaks echoing softly against the rocks. Even the elusive Phoebus can sometimes be glimpsed in the deeper pools, their dull scales belying the potential for breathtaking beauty they hold within. Beneath the water's surface, a hidden world thrives. Schools of barboach glide over the sandy riverbeds, their whiskers twitching as they search for food. Carvanha, though fierce in reputation, move with surprising grace in these quieter stretches, their sharp teeth only bared when the currents grow turbulent. And in the very deepest channels, where sunlight barely penetrates, Relicanth drift like living fossils, their ancient forms unchanged for millennia, silent witnesses to the passage of time. The caves of Hoenn, too, hold their own secrets. Dark and echoing, they are home to Pokémon that have adapted to the absence of light. Zubat flit through the stalactites, their ultrasonic cries painting a picture of the world their eyes cannot see. Mawile lurk in the shadows, their deceptive flower-like jaws ready to snap shut on unsuspecting prey. And in the deepest caverns, where crystals glow with an eerie luminescence, Sableye scuttle among the rocks, their gemstone eyes glittering like stolen stars. These caves are not just hollow spaces in the earth. They are living, breathing ecosystems where even the walls seem to pulse with energy. Some say the caves of Hoenn are connected to the very heart of the planet, and perhaps they are not wrong. In places like Meteor Falls, where the ceiling opens to the sky, the boundary between Earth and cosmos feels thin. Here, Bagan dream of flight, gazing up at the stars as if they might one day reach them. Their determination is so fierce that over time their bodies change, growing wings and scales capable of weathering the winds of the upper atmosphere. And when a Bagan finally evolves into Salamence, its first flight is a sight to behold, a streak of blue against the heavens, roaring with joy as it soars into the unknown. The skies above Hoenn are just as rich with life as the land below. Swallow dart through the air with unmatched speed, their sharp cries cutting through the clouds. Tylo, though small, are fiercely territorial, chasing off larger birds with fearless dives and precise strikes. And high above them all, the majestic Altaria glide on cottony wings, their voices rising in melodies so pure they seem to calm the storms beneath them. It's said that hearing an Altaria's song can ease even the most troubled heart, a gift from the heavens to those below. But not all of Hoenn's skies are peaceful. Thunderheads gather over the sea, crackling with the energy of electric types, like Manectric and Electrike. These storms are both feared and revered, for while they bring danger, they also bring life, rain to nourish the land, lightning to spark new growth. Even the legendary Pokémon Rayquaza, guardian of the ozone layer, is said to descend from the stratosphere when these storms grow too fierce, its emerald scales shimmering as it parts the clouds with a single mighty roar. The balance of Hoenn is delicate, maintained by forces both seen and unseen. The Regitrio, Regirock, Regice, and Registeel slumber in hidden chambers, their ancient bodies forged from the very elements they represent. Few have ever glimpsed them, and fewer still have awakened them, but their presence is felt in the stability of the land, the unyielding stone, the enduring ice, the unbreakable steel. And in the heart of the region, the towering figure of Groudon rests, its power over the earth lying dormant until called upon. Across the sea, Kyogre sleeps in the abyss, its mastery of the ocean currents a silent promise of balance. Yet for all their might, these legendary Pokémon are not the only stewards of Hoenn. Even the smallest creatures play their part. Wurmple, though fragile, become the beautiful dustox and beautifully that pollinate the flowers. Zigzagoon, with their endless curiosity, scatter seeds as they rummage through the underbrush. And the humble Whismer, though timid, remind us that even the quietest voices have power. When they evolve into Exploud, their songs can shake the mountains. The cycle of life in Hoenn is unbroken, each generation learning from the last. Young trainers set out with their first Pokémon, their footsteps tracing the same paths taken by countless others before them. The gym leaders, each a master of their craft, test these trainers not just for strength, but for understanding, for the wisdom to see that power is nothing without respect, and that every battle is a conversation between souls. And as night deepens, even the most active Pokémon begin to rest. The Slakoth, true to their nature, have long since settled into the crooks of trees, their slow breaths barely stirring the leaves. The Volbeat and Illumise, their glowing abdomens flickering like distant lanterns, dance their last dances before retreating to the safety of thickets. The world slows, but it does not stop. The tide still rolls in, the wind still murmurs through the grass, and the stars still turn in their endless wheel above. So let the rhythm of Hoenn carry you now, as the last waking thoughts fade into dreams. Picture the soft glow of Moss Deep City's lighthouse, a beacon in the dark. Feel the warmth of Lavaridge's hot springs, steam curling into the cool night air. Hear the distant cry of a Wingull, carried on the salt-kissed breeze. This is Hoenn, a land of contrasts, of fire and water, of earth and sky, of past and future. And as sleep takes you, Know that its stories will continue, as timeless as the waves upon the shore. The Pokémon of Hoenn need no applause, no fanfare. They simply exist, as they always have, in harmony with the world around them, and in that simplicity there's peace. So breathe deep, let go, and drift away on the currents of the night, cradled by the whispers of a land that never truly sleeps. The tides of Slateport Harbor continue their gentle rhythm, waves lapping against the wooden docks where Wingle perch, their heads tucked beneath wings in quiet repose. Even the bustling marketplace is still now, the day's chatter replaced by the occasional creak of moored ships and the distant hum of Irelicanth's deep-sea song. Out on Route 110, the tall grass sways in unison, sheltering resting Electrike, whose fur crackles faintly with static, tiny sparks that flicker like fireflies before dissolving into the dark. Beyond the shore, the currents carry the memories of ancient Pokémon. Luvdisk, their heart-shaped bodies, gliding effortlessly through moonlit water, trace patterns only they understand, a silent language of movement passed down through generations. Deeper still, where sunlight cannot reach, Clamprel nestle into the seabed, their pearls glowing softly like submerged stars. And somewhere in the fathomless trenches, Huntail and Goribus drift, their elongated forms weaving through the blackness, living relics of a time when land and sea were still deciding their boundaries. On the slopes of Mint Chimney, the earth exhales warmth. Torkoal doze near steam vents, their shells radiating heat as they draw into themselves, conserving energy for the dawn. Nearby, Numel chew lazily on patches of hardy grass, their slow, deliberate movements a testament to the patience required to thrive in such an environment. Even the volcanic rock holds stories, each ridge and crevice shaped by eruptions long past, each layer a page in Hoenn's geological history. The desert whispers too, though its voice is drier, carried on the wind that sculpts the dunes. Trapinch lie buried just beneath the surface, their jaws slightly parted, waiting for vibrations that signal prey. Above them, Baltoy hover in the cool night air, their spinning motions slowed to a near stop as they conserve energy. The desert does not give its secrets easily, but to those who listen, it speaks of endurance, of Cacnea raising their spines to the sky, of Sandshrew curling into tight balls to preserve moisture, of the rare Geibel that sometimes ventures down from rocky outcrops to taste the dry wind. In Petalburg Woods, the canopy forms a living ceiling, filtering starlight into dappled patterns on the forest floor. Shroomish nestle against mossy logs, their spores dormant in the cool air, while Slakoth, true to their nature, have not moved an inch since sunset. A lone Cacleon flickers into visibility for just a moment, its camouflage relaxing as it drinks from a dew-laden leaf before blending back into the shadows. The woods are never silent, but the sounds are soft. The rustle of a cedo dropping from a branch, the faint chirrup of a nincada beneath the soil, the sigh of leaves as they adjust to the night's embrace. And high above it all, the sky stretches endlessly, a vast expanse where Swellow and Talo roost in cliffside nests, their wings folded tight. The clouds drift like sleeping Altaria, slow and dreamlike, occasionally parting to reveal the crescent moon. Some say that on the clearest nights, if you listen closely, you might hear the distant echo of Rayquaza's flight, a sound like wind through ancient ruins, a reminder that even the sky is alive with stories. But Hoenn's magic is not just in its wild places. Even its towns and cities breathe with quiet energy. In Fortree, the wooden walkways creak gently under the weight of resting Tropius, their banana-like fruit glowing faintly in the moonlight. The people here know the value of harmony, their homes built among the trees, their lives intertwined with the Pokémon that share their space. Further south, in Pacific, the floating huts rock like giant corsola on the tide, the murmur of the ocean a constant lullaby for those drifting to sleep. And then there is Sutopolis, the city cradled in the heart of an ancient crater. By day, it is a marvel of human and Pokemon cooperation. By night, it becomes a sanctuary of stillness. The water in its central lake is so clear that the reflections of stars seem to sink into the depths, where relicanth glide like living fossils. The walls of the crater hum with the memory of battles long past, of clashes between titans that shaped the very land. But now there is only peace, the kind that comes from knowing some storms are meant to pass. Even the Pokemon League, that pinnacle of a trainer's journey, rests in these quiet hours. The statues of past champions stand watch, their features softened by moonlight, while inside, the Elite Four's chambers are empty of challengers. Only the faintest traces of their Pokemon remain, the coolness of Glacia's ice types lingering in the air, the earthy scent of Stephen's Metagross imprinted in the stones. It is a place of dreams deferred, of battles yet to come, but for now it too succumbs to the night's embrace. So let the weight of this world settle around you, as real as the pillow beneath your head. Hoenn is not just a region, it is a living thing, breathing in time with the tides, growing with the trees, dreaming with the stars. Its Pokemon, from the mightiest to the meekest, are part of that rhythm, each playing their role in the endless cycle. And as you slip deeper into sleep, know that you are part of it too, if only for this moment, a witness to the quiet majesty of a world that thrives even in rest. The last thing you might imagine, as consciousness fades, is the sound of a distant waterfall, the rush of Evergrande's cascades, endless and unchanging, a white noise that soothes as surely as a Whismer's lullaby. And then nothing but the dark, and the knowledge that somewhere, under the same sky, a million Pokemon are dreaming too. The tides of Slateport Beach continue their eternal dance, the waves rolling in with the same steady rhythm as a sleeping Wailord's breath. The sand, still warm from the day's sun, cradles the tiny footprints of Wingull and the occasional deeper impressions of a passing Machoke carrying fishing nets back to the docks. Out on the water, the lanterns of anchored ships sway gently, their reflections fracturing into shimmering fragments where Luminion glide just beneath the surface. Even the bustling market square, usually alive with barter and chatter, is hushed, only the occasional rustle of a burlap sack stirred by the wind, or the soft coo of a talo nesting in the eaves of a stall. The scent of salt and seaweed lingers, familiar and comforting, as the ocean murmurs its endless story to anyone still awake to listen. Inland, the rustling leaves of Petalburg woods whisper secrets to those who pass beneath them. The trees here have stood for generations, their roots intertwined with the mycelium networks that shroomish tend in the undergrowth. Moonlight filters through the canopy in dappled patterns, shifting like a ghostly beautifly's wings as clouds drift overhead. A lone Poochyena might pad softly along the path, pausing to sniff at the air before vanishing into the shadows, while Cedo cling to their branches, motionless as stones, storing sunlight for the day to come. The woods are never truly silent. There's always the creak of timber, the distant call of a noctowl, the almost imperceptible scuttle of Nincada beneath the soil, but the sounds blend into a lullaby for the land itself. Nearby, the sluggish currents of the Trickmaster's house sit undisturbed, its puzzles and contraptions stilled for the night. The only movement comes from the occasional Kecleon, its camouflage flickering as it dozes on a sun-warmed stone, or a Volbeat tracing lazy arcs of light through the air, their glow fading in and out like distant stars. Even the most mischievous of Pokémon, the Zigzagoon that might nip at unattended berries, the Whismur that startles travelers with its sudden cries, are curled in their dens, their energy reserved for the dawn. And then there's Mint Chimney, its volcanic heart simmering quietly beneath the earth. The steam vents sigh as they release their pressure, their warmth a comfort to the Numel that doze in herds along the slopes. The air here is thick with the scent of minerals and damp rock, a reminder of the mountain's restless power, but for now it is dormant. The lava flows that once carved their paths down the mountainside are cooled and black, their surfaces etched with the delicate patterns of cracks and fissures where Geodude rest, their rocky bodies absorbing the residual heat. High above, the cable cars hang motionless, their cabins empty, their cables humming faintly in the wind. To the east, the desert stretches out in a sea of sand, its dunes sculpted by the wind into endless, rolling waves. Under the moonlight, the grains glitter like shattered glass, shifting minutely with each gust. Trapinch lie buried just beneath the surface, their jaws slack in sleep, while Cacnea stand sentinel, their spines casting long, spindly shadows. The desert is a place of extremes, scorching by day, frigid by night. But in these hours, it is perfectly still, a vast and silent expanse where even the stars seem closer, brighter, as if the sky itself has dipped low to rest upon the sands. Back toward the coast, the currents of the ocean grow deeper, darker, where Whalmer and Sharpedo patrol the depths. The water here is a world unto itself, its rhythms dictated by currents older than memory. Schools of Luvdisk flicker like scattered coins in the abyss, their movements synchronized as if guided by some unseen force. Deeper still, the ruins of ancient civilizations lie half buried in the silt, their stories lost to time, their only visitors the relicanth that glide through their crumbling arches, their eyes reflecting the faintest traces of bioluminescent light. And in the heart of Hoenn, where the land rises to meet the sky, the Weather Institute stands quiet, its instruments tracking the subtle shifts in the atmosphere. The scientists inside have long since retired for the night, leaving the building to the soft whir of machines and the occasional flutter of a cast form adjusting its form to match the pre-dawn humidity. Outside, the wind carries the scent of rain from distant clouds, a promise of storms yet to come. But for now, the air is still, heavy with the kind of quiet that only exists in the deepest hours of the night. Even the battle frontier, that bastion of competition and strength, is at rest. The tents are dark, the challenge gates closed, the only sound the distant crash of waves against the cliffs. The Pokémon that call this place home, the stalwart Metagross, the swift Aerodactyl, the cunning Alakazam, are all withdrawn into their quarters, their energy conserved for the battles that will come with the sun. The frontier brains, too, have retreated, their strategies and calculations set aside until morning. For now, the only battles fought are those in dreams, where memories of past victories and defeats play out in the minds of sleeping trainers and Pokémon alike. And so the night stretches on, vast and unbroken, a tapestry of quiet moments woven together by the land itself. The Pokémon of Hoenn, whether they soar through the skies, burrow beneath the earth, or drift in the endless blue, are all part of this stillness, their breaths and heartbeats adding to the rhythm of the world. There's comfort in knowing that, no matter how chaotic the day may be, the night always returns, soft and sure, to gather everything into its embrace. So let your thoughts drift like a feather on the wind, carried by the same breeze that stirs the leaves of Fortree's great trees, or ripples the surface of Meteor Fall's hidden pools. There's no need to hold on, just let go, and let the quiet of Hoenn surround you, as deep and endless as the ocean, as gentle as the summer rain. The world will keep turning, the tides will keep rising, the Pokémon will keep dreaming, and so, at last, will you. Beneath the surface of the ocean, where the light barely reaches, a school of Whalmer moves in slow, synchronized patterns, their massive bodies displacing the water with effortless grace. They communicate in low, rumbling calls that travel for miles, a language older than human speech, a sound that soothes the restless currents. Occasionally, one will breach the surface, sending ripples across the moonlit water, but for the most part, they remain in the depths, their movements as rhythmic as the tides themselves. Nearby, a lone Sharpedo patrols the darker waters, its instincts sharp even in sleep, its body never fully at rest, always drifting, always aware. Further inland, where the rivers carve their winding paths through the land, a family of Lotad float lazily on the water's surface, their broad leaves catching the occasional droplet of dew. They barely stir as the current carries them, their eyes half-lidded, their minds adrift in simple, peaceful thoughts. A masquerade skims the water nearby, its delicate wings barely making a sound as it searches for a place to rest. It alights on a reed, folding its wings like a whispered secret, and becomes just another shadow in the night. In the dense forests of Petalburg, where the trees grow so thick they blot out the stars, a swarm of beautifully has settled for the night, their wings folded like petals. They cling to the branches in silent clusters, their antennae twitching occasionally at some distant dreamt sensation. Below them, a lone zigzagoon noses through the underbrush, its movements slow and unhurried, its usual energy subdued by the late hour. It pauses to scratch behind its ear, then curls up in a patch of soft moss, tucking its tail over its nose. High above, where the air grows thin and cold, a solitary Altaria drifts on the thermals, its cloud-like wings catching the faint glow of the moon. It sings softly to itself, a melody without words, a sound so quiet it barely disturbs the night. Far below, a Talos stirs in its nest, answering with a sleepy chirp before settling back into the warmth of its feathers. The world is full of these small, unspoken connections, tiny threads woven through the darkness, binding everything together in a tapestry of rest. Even the most formidable of Hoenn's inhabitants have moments of quiet. In the heart of the volcano, where the earth's fire still burns, a Camerupt lies curled on a bed of warm stone, its breaths slow and steady, the heat radiating from its body in gentle waves. Nearby, a Torkoal dozes, its shell creaking faintly as it shifts in sleep. The magma bubbles far below, a distant, lulling rumble, a reminder that even the most restless forces of nature must sometimes still. And in the deepest caves, where the walls glitter with ancient minerals, a Sableye crouches in the shadows, its gemstone eyes catching what little light there is. It hums a tuneless little song to itself, a habit born of solitude, a sound that echoes softly through the tunnels. Somewhere in the darkness, a Mawheel stirs, its massive jaws relaxed for once, its usual vigilance softened by sleep. Even the mischievous spirits of the night must rest eventually. The desert, too, is not as lifeless as it seems. Beneath the dunes, a trapinch lies buried, its body perfectly still, waiting for the sun to return and warm the sand above it. A cacnea stands motionless nearby, its spines glistening with condensation, its roots drinking in the scarce moisture of the night air. The desert sleeps, but it does not forget. Every grain of sand holds the memory of the wind that shaped it, the storms that carved it, the Pokémon that have crossed its expanse for generations. On the shores of Slateport, where the waves lap gently against the wooden piers, a Wingull perches on a mooring post, its head tucked beneath its wing. The brine-soaked wood creaks softly with each swell, a sound as familiar as breathing. Out at sea, a Wailord surfaces briefly, its massive form casting a shadow over the water before it sinks again, leaving only ripples behind. The ocean never truly sleeps, but it does grow calm, its endless motion slowing to a whisper. And in the quiet corners of human settlements, where the streets are empty and the windows dark, Pokémon and people alike share in the stillness. A Plusle and Minun curl together on a windowsill, their cheeks still faintly glowing with residual electricity. A Skitty stretches in a patch of moonlight, its tail flicking once before it settles again. Inside, a child murmurs in sleep, their fingers loosely clutching a well-worn Pokeball. The bond between trainer and Pokémon does not fade with the light. It simply shifts, becomes something softer, something woven into dreams. The night is long, but it is never empty. Even in the deepest dark, there is life, there is breath, there is the quiet pulse of the world turning. The stars above Hoenn have seen countless nights like this one, and they will see countless more. The constellations shift imperceptibly, their patterns changing with the seasons, but their presence is constant, a reminder that some things endure beyond the rise and fall of the sun. So let the weight of the night settle over you like a blanket. Let the distant calls of nocturnal Pokémon, the chirr of a Nincada, the hoot of a Noctowl, the rustle of a Cedo falling from its tree, lull you deeper into rest. There is no need to resist. The world will keep its rhythms, the tides will keep their time, and the Pokémon of Hoenn will keep their watch, silent and sure until the dawn. And when the first light finally creeps over the horizon, painting the sky in soft hues of pink and gold, the night will retreat, but it will not vanish. It will linger in the shadows, in the coolness of the shade, in the quiet moments between breaths. It will return as it always does, to gather the world once more into its gentle embrace. But for now, there's only this, the deep, endless quiet, the slow, steady breath of the land, the certainty that all is as it should be. So close your eyes, let go, and sleep. The rivers of Hoenn flow even now, their currents carrying stories from the highlands to the sea. A Phoebus drifts lazily in the shallows, its dull scales catching the faintest glimmer of moonlight before it vanishes beneath the lily pad. Nearby, a Lotation rests on the river bank, its webbed feet tucked beneath it, its breath slow and even. The water murmurs as it passes over smooth stones, a sound so constant it becomes part of the background, like the rustle of leaves or the distant call of a wingle. Deep in Petalburg woods, the air is thick with the scent of damp earth and blooming flowers. A shroomish nestles into the roots of an ancient tree, its cap dusted with spores that glow faintly in the dark. Above it, a beautifully clings to a low-hanging branch, its wings folded, its antennae twitching occasionally as it dreams. The forest is never truly silent. There's always the skitter of a wurmple across bark, the soft flutter of a dustox's wings, the occasional creak of wood as the trees sway in the night breeze. But these sounds are not interruptions. They are part of the lullaby of the wild, a rhythm as old as time itself. On the slopes of Mat Chimney, where the air is thin and the ground warm from volcanic activity, a Numel dozes beside a steaming fissure. Its humped back rises and falls with each breath, the heat keeping it comfortable even as the night grows cooler. Far below, in the jagged cliffs of Jagged Pass, a zangoose stretches out on a sun-warmed rock, its claws retracted, its body relaxed. Even the most territorial of Pokémon find peace in these quiet hours, when the world slows and the need for vigilance fades. The desert, too, holds its own kind of stillness. The sands of Route 111 shift slightly in the wind, their grains whispering against one another like distant voices. A trapinch lies buried just beneath the surface, its jaws slack, its body still as it waits for the warmth of day. Nearby, a cacnea stands motionless, its spines catching the faintest breeze, its roots drinking in what little moisture the night air provides. The desert is harsh, but it is not unkind. It too knows rest. And in the heart of Sootopolis, where the city rises from the crater of an ancient caldera, the water of the Great Lake is perfectly still, reflecting the stars like a mirror. A Milotic glides just beneath the surface, its long, ribbon-like body moving with effortless grace. It does not hurry. There is no need. The night is long and the water is deep, and time moves differently here in this place where the earth and sky meet. Even the most bustling of Hoenn cities grow quiet as the hours stretch on. In Slateport, the market stalls are empty, the only sound the gentle lapping of waves against the docks. A Sharpedo patrols the harbor, its sleek form cutting through the water with quiet precision. In Mobile, where the lights never truly go out, the hum of machinery is softer now, a low, steady drone that fades into the background. A Manectric dozes beside a power station, its fur crackling faintly with static, its ears twitching occasionally at some distant sound. And in Fortree, where the houses are built among the trees, the night is alive with the sounds of the forest. A Tropius shifts in its sleep, its great leaves rustling as it settles. A Swallow perches on a high branch, its head tucked beneath its wing, its breathing slow and even. The wooden walkways creak softly in the wind, a sound so familiar to those who live here that it goes unnoticed, just another part of the night song. The Pokémon of Hoenn are as varied as the land itself, but they share this one truth: they know the value of rest. A Vigoroth was so energetic by day, finally stills, its claws relaxed, its breathing deep. A Slaking, already a creature of leisure, dozes without a care, its massive form rising and falling with each breath. Even the most restless spirits find peace when the stars are bright and the air is cool. And so the night stretches on, endless and gentle. The tides continue their slow dance with the shore. The wind continues its journey across land and sea. The Pokémon of Hoenn sleep, and dream and wait for the dawn. There is no hurry. There is no need to rush. The world turns at its own pace, and all is as it should be. So let the quiet settle over you. Let the distant sounds of the night, the whisper of grass, the sigh of the wind, the occasional call of a Pokémon carry you deeper into rest. There is nothing to fear. The world is watching over you, just as it watches over all who sleep beneath its sky. Close your eyes, breathe, and drift away. The land of Hoenn is cradled by the sea on all sides, a place where the horizon stretches endlessly, where the line between water and sky blurs into a soft, shimmering haze. Beneath the surface, schools of Luvdisk drift lazily through coral reefs, their heart-shaped bodies glinting in the faint moonlight that filters down. A relicanth moves with ancient grace, its heavy fins stirring the water just enough to keep it suspended, its eyes half-lidded in quiet contentment. Even the most elusive of deep-sea dwellers, like Hoontail and Goribis, slow their movements as the night deepens, their serpentine forms weaving through the currents with effortless ease. Above the waves, the beaches lie undisturbed, the sand still warm from the day's sun. A sand shrew curls into a tight ball near the dunes, its tough hide protecting it from the cool night air. Nearby, a wingle tucks its beak beneath a wing, balanced perfectly on one foot, its feathers ruffling slightly in the breeze. The ocean murmurs to itself, whispering secrets to the shore, a sound so constant it becomes part of the silence. Inland, the great expanse of the desert stretches out, vast and still. The shifting sands settle as the winds grow calm, the dunes frozen in time under the stars. A cacnea stands motionless, its spines catching the faint light, its roots buried deep in search of moisture. A trapinch waits patiently in its sandy pit, its jaws slack, its instincts dulled by the cool night. Even the mighty Flygon, so swift in flight by day, rests now, its wings folded, its keen eyes closed. The desert is a place of extremes, but in these hours it is gentle, a land of quiet and shadow. The mountains rise beyond, their peaks brushing the sky. A solitary Absol perches on a high ledge, its horn gleaming faintly, its gaze turned toward the horizon. It does not stir, does not sense disaster. Tonight is a night of peace. Below, in the craggy slopes, an Aran nestles into a crevice, its metal body cool to the touch, its breath slow and steady. The rocks themselves seem to exhale, releasing the warmth of the day, settling into the stillness. Deep within the caves, where the air is cool and damp, a Sableye crouches among the crystals, its gem-like eyes reflecting the faint glow of the minerals around it. It hums softly to itself, a sound barely louder than the drip of water from the stalactites above. A Maul, its great jaws relaxed, leans against a smooth stone, its usual mischievousness forgotten in sleep. Even the most restless of cave dwellers find stillness here, where time moves slowly, where the earth itself seems to breathe. The forests of Hoenn are alive with the soft sounds of the night. A shiftry stands sentinel among the trees, its broad leaves rustling faintly, its eyes glowing like embers in the dark. A Cedo clings to a branch, its body swaying slightly in the breeze, its hard shell protecting the life within. The undergrowth stirs now and then, a zigzagoon turning in its nest, a shroomish releasing a tiny puff of spores. But these movements are small, fleeting, part of the rhythm of the night. Near the lakes and rivers, the water is still as glass, reflecting the stars above. A lotus floats serenely, its petals closed for the night, its roots trailing in the depths. A phoebus drifts just below the surface, its dull scales shimmering faintly, its mind lost in simple dreams. On the bank, a maril curls into a ball, its round body rising and falling with each breath, its tail tucked close. The water does not hurry. It knows its path, knows where it must go, and moves with quiet certainty. The cities, though built by human hands, belong to Pokémon just as much when the lights dim and the streets empty. A skitty stretches out on a windowsill, its fur warmed by the residual heat of the day, its tail flicking lazily. A Plusle and Minun nestle together on a rooftop, their sparks subdued, their usual energy muted by the late hour. Even the towering buildings of Lily Cove seem softer in the moonlight, their edges blurred, their presence less imposing. And in the heart of it all, the legendary Pokémon of Hoenn rest as well. Deep beneath the ocean, Kyogre slumbers, its massive form barely stirring the water around it. Within the heart of a volcano, Groudon lies still, its body cooling, its power at peace. And high above, where the air is thin, Rayquaza coils around a floating stone, its emerald scales catching the starlight, its breath slow and even. Even these titans, these forces of nature, know the value of stillness. The world turns, the night deepens, the Pokémon of Hoenn sleep on, each in their own way, each in their own time. There is no need to count the minutes, no need to measure the hours. The rhythm of the night is slow, unhurried, as natural as the tide. So let your thoughts drift like leaves on the wind, like ripples on a pond. Let the quiet of Hoenn wrap around you, soft as a blanket, steady as the earth. Breathe in, breathe out. The stars shine just as brightly whether your eyes are open or closed. The world continues, gentle and sure. There's no rush. There's no need to hold on. Just rest. Just be. The night is long, and the land is patient, and all is well. Sleep now. Let go. The Pokémon of Hoenn watch over you, and the world turns, and the night carries on, endless and kind. Close your eyes and drift away. The forests of Hoenn breathe softly in the dark, their canopies swaying just slightly, leaves whispering secrets to one another in a language only they understand. Atropius dozes beneath its own fruit-laden branches, its long neck curled like a river's bend, its wings folded close. Nearby, a shroomish nestles into the damp earth, its tiny body nearly indistinguishable from the mushrooms that dot the forest floor. The air here is thick with the scent of soil and growth, of things quietly living and returning to the earth in an endless, gentle cycle. Further inland, where the land rises into jagged cliffs and hidden caves, an Aran sleeps soundly in a bed of iron-rich stone, its metallic hide cool to the touch. The mountain itself seems to exhale around it, the occasional distant rumble of shifting rock a lullaby for those attuned to its vibrations. In deeper chambers, where sunlight has never reached, a Sableye crouches motionless, its gemstone eyes dimmed, its mischievous nature momentarily stilled. Even the earth's bones, its oldest stones, know the weight of rest. The desert, so harsh under the sun, becomes something else entirely when night falls. The sands cool, the winds settle, and the creatures that call this place home emerge, not to hunt or to fight, but to simply exist in the quiet. A Cacnea stands perfectly still, its spines relaxed, its thirst forgotten for a few precious hours. A Trapinch burrows just beneath the surface, its jaws slack, its dreams full of distant buzzing wings. The desert does not hurry. It has seen countless nights, and it will see countless more. Time here is measured in dunes, shifting grain by grain, in the slow erosion of stone, in the patient waiting for rain that may or may not come. Near the coast, where the land meets the sea, the boundary between earth and water blurs. A wingle tucks its head beneath a wing, balanced perfectly on a single leg, its cry silenced for the night. The tide rolls in, then out, then in again, each wave a breath, each retreat a sigh. A corfish scuttles lazily along the shallows, its claws half buried in the sand, its movements slow and drowsy. The ocean does not sleep, it cannot, but even its endless motion takes on a softer rhythm when the moon is high. And in the places where humans and Pokémon live side by side, the night brings a different kind of peace. A Slakoth hangs from a porch railing, its grip loose, its face serene. A Whismur curls into a ball beneath a bed, its enormous ears folded down, its voice silent for once. The hum of machinery stills, the chatter of voices fades, and what remains is the quiet understanding that the world does not need to be busy to be alive. High above, the clouds drift, and occasionally a lone Talo cuts through them, its wings slicing the air with effortless grace. But even it, so swift and sure in daylight, must eventually find a perch, must tuck its head and let the night carry it into dreams. The sky is vast, but it too knows stillness. The Pokémon of Hoenn are as varied as the land itself, but they share this, the need to rest, to pause, to let the world turn without them for a while. A Breloom in a meadow, a Whalmer in the deep, a Baltoy in the ruins, all find their own way to surrender to the night. There is no right way, no single pattern. Sleep comes as it will, and it is enough. So let the images fade, let the thoughts slow, let the breath match the quiet pulse of the land. There is no need to hold on to wakefulness. The night is long, and the stars are patient, and the world will continue its slow, steady spin whether you are there to witness it or not. Close your eyes, let go. The Pokémon of Hoenn are dreaming, and so can you. The night is deep and kind and endless. Sleep now, sleep. The desert exhales as the last of the day's heat dissipates into the cool night air. A Cacnea stands motionless, its spines catching the faintest glimmer of starlight, its roots buried deep in the shifting sands where the earth remembers water. Nearby, a Trapinch waits in its shallow pit, jaws slightly parted, listening for vibrations in the ground. But even predators must rest, and tonight its hunger is quiet. The dunes stretch on, wave after wave of pale gold, turn silver under the moon, and if you listen closely, you might hear the faintest whisper of sand sliding against sand, the sound of time itself settling. Further south, where the desert gives way to scrubland, a Numel dozes beside a crumbling rock formation, its humped back rising and falling with slow, steady breaths. The magma within it cools just slightly, its inner fire banked for the night. Above, a lone Swabby drifts on a thermal, long gone cold, its wings outstretched, its body carried by the memory of warmth. It will glide until it finds a perch, until the last of its energy ebbs, and then it too will fold into itself and let the darkness take over. Near the foot of Mount Chimney, where the earth still hums with latent heat, a Macargo rests half submerged in a thermal pool, its shell cracked and steaming. The water around it bubbles softly, a lullaby of liquid and stone. Even here, where fire and earth meet in an endless embrace, there is stillness. The mountain does not erupt tonight, the fires do not rage, all is calm. In the forests of Petalburg, the leaves rustle not with the movement of Pokémon, but with the slow, sighing wind. A shroomish nestles at the base of an ancient tree, its cap damp with dew, its spores dormant. A cedo hangs above it, suspended by a thin stem, turning ever so slightly as the air moves through the branches. The forest is never truly silent. There is always the creak of wood, the skitter of a wurmple adjusting its silk, the distant call of a nocturnal pucciina. But the sounds are soft, woven into the fabric of the night, like threads in a tapestry. Overhead, the canopy parts just enough to reveal patches of sky, and in those gaps, the stars blink down, indifferent in kind. A beautifully folded into the hollow of a tree, dreams of daylight, of nectar, of open air. Its wings, so vivid by day, are muted now, their patterns hidden in shadow. Nearby, a cascoon hangs in perfect stillness, its transformation waiting for sunrise. For now, it is content to be exactly as it is. The rivers of Hoenn wind their way through the land, their surfaces shimmering with reflected moonlight. A barboach drifts just below the surface, its whiskers trailing like threads of shadow. It does not swim tonight. It lets the current carry it, its body loose, its mind adrift. On the bank, a lotade bobs gently, its broad lily pad a tiny island in the dark. It, too, is half asleep, its leaves slowly folding inward as if to cradle itself. Deeper in the water, where the light barely reaches, a carvana rests among the reeds. Its teeth, so sharp by day, are hidden behind closed jaws. Even the most relentless of predators must pause, must surrender to the rhythm of the water. And in the very depths, where the pressure is immense and the darkness absolute, a relicanth floats motionless, its ancient body a relic of a time long past. It does not dream, it simply is, a living fossil suspended in the quiet. Back on land, in the places where humans have built their homes, the night is just as gentle. A skitty curls on a windowsill, its tail wrapped around its paws, its ears twitching occasionally at some half-remembered sound. A plusla and Minun sleep side by side, their cheeks still faintly glowing, their sparks subdued. Even the most energetic of Pokémon know when to still their hearts, when to let the world go on without them. In the tall grass beyond the towns, a zigzagoon nestles into a bed of leaves, its stripes blending into the shadows. Its nose, always twitching by day, is still at last. A Tylo, perched on a fence post, tucks his head beneath a wing, its song silenced until dawn. The grass sways, the wind hums, and the earth turns, slow and sure, and high above it all, where the air is thin and the sky stretches into infinity, a Salamence soars on currents unseen. Even dragons must rest. It finds an outcrop of rock, a place where the wind is soft, and there it settles, its wings folding like great sails being furled. Its breath steams in the cold air, then fades. The night is long and the stars are bright, and the world is at peace. So let your thoughts drift like leaves on water. Let your breath match the tide, the wind, the slow pulse of the land. There is no need to hold on. The Pokémon of Hoenn are dreaming, and the night is deep and kind and endless. Sleep now, sleep. The world will wait for you. In the quiet corners of Hoenn, where the moonlight spills softly over the land, a Volbeat and an Illamisa dance lazily in the air, their lights dimmed to a gentle glow. They move in slow, drifting circles, their paths weaving together like strands of silk. Nearby, a Roselia stands in a patch of wildflowers, its petals closed for the night, its thorns softened by the dew. The air smells faintly of roses and damp earth, a scent as soothing as a lullaby. Deeper in the forest, where the trees grow tall and the shadows are thick, A shiftry rests against the trunk of an ancient oak. Its leaves rustle faintly in the breeze, a sound like whispers from a distant time. Its eyes are closed, its face serene, its body still as stone. Even the wind seems to move around it with care, as if aware of its need for rest. In the caves that wind beneath the mountains, a Sableye crouches in the darkness, its gem-like eyes glowing softly. It does not search for treasure tonight. It simply sits, its claws folded, its mind quiet. Nearby, a Zubat hangs from the ceiling, its wings wrapped around itself like a cloak. Its breathing is slow, its heartbeat faint, its presence almost ghostly. The caves are silent, save for the occasional drip of water, a sound as steady as a metronome. And in the deepest chambers, where the air is cool and the darkness is absolute, a Lunatone floats motionless, its body glowing faintly with a pale, silvery light. It does not spin tonight, it simply rests, a celestial companion to the earth below. Out on the open plains, where the grass stretches endlessly under the stars, a Ponyta sleeps standing up, its mane flickering faintly with embers. Its head hangs low, its eyes closed, its breathing slow and even. Nearby, a Doduo tucks its head beneath its wings, its long legs folded beneath it. Its twin minds, so often at odds, are united in sleep, its dreams blending together like colors in a painting. And further out, where the plains meet the desert, a Trapinch rests in the sand, its jaws closed, its body still. The desert is vast and quiet, its dunes like waves frozen in time. A Cacnea stands nearby, its spines softened by the moonlight, its shadow long and thin. It does not move, it simply waits, its patience as endless as the night. In the towns and cities, where the lights are low and the streets are empty, a Kecleon sits on a rooftop, its camouflage fading as it sleeps. Its tail hangs over the edge, its body slumped against the tiles. Nearby, a Spinda stumbles drowsily before curling up in a corner, its spots blending into the shadows. Its movements, so erratic by day, are calm now, its mind at peace. And in a quiet alley, a Mightyena rests, with its head on its paws, its eyes closed, its breathing steady. Its pack is nearby, each member curled close to the others, their warmth shared in the cool night air. In the places where water meets land, a Wingull perches on a rock, its wings folded, its head tucked beneath its chest. Its cries, so sharp by day, are silent now, its voice lost in the sound of the waves. Nearby, a Marill floats on the surface of the water, its tail curled around itself, its body buoyed by the gentle current. Its ears twitch occasionally, but it does not wake. It simply drifts, its dreams as fluid as the sea. And on the shore, a Corfish rests in the sand, its claws folded, its body half buried. Its shell, so tough by day, seems softer now, its edges blurred by the moonlight. In the mountains, where the air is thin and the silence is profound, a Meditative sits cross-legged on a ledge, its hands resting on its knees. Its eyes are closed, its breathing slow and even, its mind as still as the rock beneath it. Nearby, a Lairon rests in a shallow cave, its metal body gleaming faintly in the starlight. Its armor, so formidable by day, seems almost peaceful now, its edges softened by the shadows. And high above, where the peaks touch the sky, an Altaria floats on the breeze, its wings spread wide, its body glowing faintly with a soft blue light. It does not sing tonight, it simply soars, its presence as gentle as a whisper. In the jungles, where the trees grow dense and the air is thick with the scent of flowers, Atropius sleeps beneath a canopy of leaves, its long neck curled around itself. Its wings, so wide by day, are folded, its body still. Nearby, a nuzleaf rests against the trunk of a tree, its hat tilted over its eyes, its breathing slow and even. Its dreams are quiet, its mind at ease. And in the branches above, a cedo hangs from a twig, its body motionless, its shell closed tight. The jungle is alive with the sounds of the night, the chirp of insects, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of an owl, but these Pokémon sleep through it all, their rest undisturbed. In the places where the earth is scorched and the air is dry, a Torkoal rests on a bed of ash, its shell glowing faintly with heat. Its breath steams in the cool night air, its body still. Nearby, a Camerupt sleeps standing up, its legs locked, its head hanging low. Its humps, so filled with molten energy by day, are quiet now, their heat subdued, and in the shadows, a Numel rests with its head on its paws, its body curled into a ball. Its dreams are warm, its mind at peace. In the places where the land meets the sky, where the air is thin and the stars are bright, a Swablu sleeps on a cloud, its body nestled into the soft, fluffy surface. Its wings are folded, its head tucked beneath its chest, its breathing slow and even. Nearby, a Flygon rests on a rocky outcrop, its wings folded, its body still. Its eyes, so sharp by day, are closed, its mind quiet. And in the distance, a Rayquaza floats among the stars, its body glowing faintly with a soft green light. It does not roar tonight, it simply drifts, its presence as vast and calm as the night sky. So let your thoughts drift, like leaves on water. Let your breath match the tide, the wind, the slow pulse of the land. There is no need to hold on. The Pokémon of Hoenn are dreaming, and the night is deep and kind and endless. Sleep now, sleep. The world will wait for you. The rivers of Hoenn flow softly tonight, their waters dark and smooth as glass. A Phoebus drifts lazily in the current, its scales catching the moonlight in fleeting, silvery flashes. It does not struggle, it simply lets the water carry it, its body limp, its mind at rest. Nearby, a Milotic coils in the shallows, its long, serpentine form half submerged in the reeds. Its fins ripple faintly with each slow breath, its eyes closed, its thoughts as calm as the water around it. And beneath the surface, a Whalmer floats in the depths, its massive body buoyed by the sea. Its breaths are slow, its heartbeat steady, its dreams as vast as the ocean itself. In the quiet caves, where the air is cool and the walls glisten with moisture, a Sableye crouches in the shadows, its gem-like eyes dimmed to a soft glow. It does not stir tonight, it simply sits, its claws folded, its body still. Nearby, a Mawile sleeps curled against a rock, its jaws relaxed, its usual mischievous grin softened into something peaceful. And deeper in the cavern, a Lairon rests on a bed of iron-rich stone, its metallic hide cool to the touch, its breathing slow and even. The cave is silent, but for the distant drip of water, a rhythm as steady as a lullaby. On the shores where the sand is fine and the waves lap gently at the land, a Wingull perches on a driftwood log, its head tucked beneath its wing. Its feathers are fluffed against the night air, its body perfectly still. Nearby, a Pelipper dozes with its bill tucked into its chest, its great wings folded like a cloak. And out on the water, a Wailord floats, its enormous form rising and falling with the swell of the tide. Its breaths are deep, its exhales sending mist into the air, a slow, rhythmic sigh that blends with the sound of the sea. In the tall grass where the breeze whispers through the blades, a zigzagoon nestles into a hollow, its fur ruffled slightly by the wind. Its paws twitch occasionally in sleep, its whiskers trembling with each breath. Nearby, a Puchiana rests with its muzzle on its forelegs, its ears flicking now and then at some distant sound. And beneath a bush, a Cedo lies half buried in the earth, its body still, its shell unmoving. The meadow is alive with the rustle of insects and the occasional call of a nocturnal Pokémon, but these small creatures sleep through it all, their dreams undisturbed. High in the mountains, where the air is crisp and thin, a Skarmory roosts on a rocky ledge, its metallic wings folded tight against its body. Its sharp eyes are closed, its head bowed, its breaths slow and measured. Nearby, an Aggron sleeps, curled around itself, its armored plates creaking faintly as it shifts in slumber. And higher still, where the snow never melts, a Glalie floats motionless in the cold air, its icy body reflecting the starlight in pale, shimmering patterns. Its usual fierce expression is softened in sleep, its jagged maw relaxed, its mind at peace. Even in the places where humans seldom tread, the deep trenches of the ocean, the heart of the volcano, the untouched reaches of the sky, Pokémon rest. Gorelicanth drifts in the abyss, its ancient body suspended in the dark water, its gills moving slowly. A Magcargo slumbers in a pool of molten rock, its shell glowing faintly with residual heat, its body perfectly still. And somewhere beyond the clouds, a Latias glides on unseen currents, its body wrapped in its own wings, its mind dreaming of endless flight. The night is long, and Hoenn breathes with it. The trees sigh in the wind, the rivers murmur over stones, the waves hush against the shore. Every Pokémon, from the smallest to the mightiest, has surrendered to the quiet. There is no battle here, no urgency, no need to be anything but still. The world is soft and dark and waiting. So let your thoughts dissolve like mist at dawn. Let your breaths grow slower, deeper, matching the rhythm of the land. There's nothing to hold on to now, only the quiet, the warmth, the gentle pull of sleep. The stars turn overhead, the tides shift, the wind carries the scent of salt and earth, and all across Hoenn, Pokémon dream, and the night cradles them, just as it cradles you. Sleep now. The world is resting too. Beneath the surface of the ocean, where sunlight barely reaches, a Wailord drifts in the deep currents, its enormous body moving with the rhythm of the sea. Its slow, steady breaths create gentle ripples in the water, a lullaby for the smaller Pokémon that shelter in its shadow. A school of Lovedisk glimmers faintly as they hover nearby, their hearts beating in unison, their tiny fins barely stirring the water. Even the sharp-toothed Carvana, so fierce in daylight, now rests among the coral, their restless energy stilled at last. On the shores of Dewford Town, the sand still holds the warmth of the day, and a Wingull tucks its head beneath its wing, balanced perfectly on one leg. The tide rolls in and out, each wave softer than the last, whispering secrets to the sleeping Pokémon along the coast. A Tentacool bobs gently in the shallows, its tentacles drifting like strands of silk, its body pulsing faintly with bioluminescent light. Further inland, a Zigzagoon curls into a tight ball beneath a palm tree, its striped tail wrapped around itself like a blanket. In the heart of Petalburg Woods, the trees stand like silent sentinels, their branches weaving a canopy that muffles the world beyond. A Shroomish nestles in the damp earth, its cap slightly drooped, its spores dormant for the night. Nearby, a slakoth hangs from a low branch, its limbs utterly slack, its face serene in a way it never is when awake. Even the usually restless Tylo has settled at last, perched high in the leaves, its head tucked against its chest. The forest hums with the quiet sounds of night, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of a cricketoon, the soft creak of ancient wood. The desert stretches vast and still under the moonlight, the sands cooling after the scorching heat of day. A trapinch lies buried just beneath the surface, its jaws relaxed, its body perfectly still as it waits for morning. A cacnea stands motionless, its spines catching the silver light, its usual vigilance softened by sleep. Even the swiftest of Pokémon, the Doduo, the sand shrew, have found their resting places, their bodies curled into the dunes, their breaths slow and even. The wind moves the sand grain by grain, a slow, endless dance, and the desert dreams of ancient storms and forgotten oases. In the quiet alleys of Mobile City, where the neon lights still flicker but the streets are empty, Aplusla and Minun sleep side by side, their cheeks no longer sparking with electricity, their tails intertwined. A Magnemite hovers just above the ground, its magnets humming softly, its eye dimmed. Even the bustling energy of the city has faded into a hush, the usual buzz of machinery replaced by the occasional chirp of a sleeping Voltorb. The night wraps around the buildings like a blanket, softening edges, muting sounds, lulling all into stillness. At the peak of Mount Chimney, where the earth breathes heat and smoke, a torkoal rests in the warm embrace of volcanic rock, its shell radiating a gentle warmth. The flames in its belly burn low, flickering like candlelight, its breaths slow and steady. A Numel dozes nearby, its humped back rising and falling with each exhale, its usual sluggishness deepened by sleep. Even the fiery Camerupt, so powerful in battle, now lies with its massive frame pressed against the stone, its twin volcanoes quiet, its mind at peace. And in the deepest caves where no light penetrates, a Sableye crouches in the shadows, its gemstone eyes dulled, its mischievous nature subdued. A Mawila's jaws lie slack, its usual sharp grin softened into something almost sweet. The air here is cool and still, the only sound the distant drip of water echoing through the stone. Even the most elusive of Pokémon, the Whismur, the Zubat, have settled into silence, their bodies curled into crevices, their breaths barely audible. The night stretches on, endless and patient. The moon drifts across the sky, painting the world in shades of blue and silver. The rivers continue their slow journey to the sea. The trees sway in the breeze. The stars watch over all. Every Pokémon, in its own way, has surrendered to the quiet. There's no need to run, to fight, to be anything but still. The world is soft and dark and waiting. So let your breaths match the rhythm of the waves. Let your thoughts dissolve like mist at dawn. There is nothing left to hold on to, only the quiet, the warmth, the gentle pull of sleep. The stars turn overhead, the tides shift, the wind carries the scent of salt and earth, and all across Hoenn Pokémon dream, and the night cradles them, just as it cradles you. Sleep now, the world is resting too. And as the night deepens, even the most restless spirits find peace. A Banette, usually brimming with mischief, lies motionless in an abandoned toy box, its stitches relaxed, its grin softened. A Duskull drifts through the air like a wisp of smoke, its single eye closed, its haunting whispers silenced. The ghosts of Hoenn, so often playful or eerie, now rest as well, their forms barely stirring the air. In the quiet waters of the safari zone, a Psyduck floats on its back, its webbed feet twitching occasionally in dreams. A Meryl nestles into the reeds, its round body rising and falling with each breath, its tail curled close. Even the usually elusive Phoebus rests beneath a lily pad, its dull scales blending into the murk, its mind adrift in quiet waters. The night is patient, the night is kind. It does not rush, does not demand. It simply exists, wrapping the world in stillness, in softness, in rest. The battles, the journeys, the cries of Pokémon all are paused. There is only this, the slow turn of the earth, the whisper of the wind, the deep, unbroken peace of sleep. So let go. Let the quiet take you. The stars will watch over you, the tides will carry you, the wind will sing you deeper. Sleep now. The world is resting too, and as dawn approaches, the first faint light will touch the horizon, gentle as a breath. But until then, the night holds you, just as it holds every creature in Hoenn. There is no need to wake. There is no need to stir. Only rest, only peace, only sleep. The world is soft and dark and waiting. Sleep now. The world is resting too.